Welcome back, everyone. My name is Kenny Cormandy and I have the YouTube channel My Airgun Reviews, and today we're finally going to get a look at one of Crosman's NP2 air rifles. This one is the Benjamin Summit NP2 22 caliber. The gun weighs 7.5 pounds, 46.5 inches long. It has a 15-inch barrel. Overall length of the barrel with the sound suppressor is 20.5 inches. That suppressor is 1 inch in diameter. It has a composite stock. It has a 2-stage adjustable trigger, manual safety, Weaver Picatinny style scope mount, a couple of fairly decent duty scope rings, and Crosman's 4x32 scope. This scope actually surprised the hell out of me. Most of Crosman's 4x32 scopes say center point 4x32 right back here. This one does not say anything. It just got the 4x32 center point on the side, and this is the first Crosman scope that I can remember in a month of Sundays that I can actually get a clear reticle and clear sight objective at 12 yards out, beyond 20 yards. It was just absolutely amazing. Some of the things I note about the gun is the large shroud on the barrel. The shroud actually will turn in your hand as you're cocking the air rifle. Everything is blued. It's got a composite stock. Does not sound hollow or anything. I think it's just a little bit thin through here, and I'd like to see a little bit more depth right there. The cocking lever actually protrudes down about to here when you're cocking, so you got to grip it back here to cock it. 2-stage adjustable trigger. It is a very stiff trigger, but it is very predictable trigger. Here, let's take a look at that. Okay, as you can see, the rifle shot pretty accurately, and one of the reasons you get good accuracy out of a gun is a good trigger. Now, this is not the greatest trigger in the world, but as far as accuracy for shooting, it's very, very predictable. The first stage is very hard, but the second stage is very, very crisp and predictable. So I've got the gun cocked, ready to go, and I will show you right here. Now you can see how it comes right up to the second stage there, and then when you're ready to fire, so it's got a very clearly pronounced second stage, unlike the Chinese made Crosman's and Benjamins where you got to modify the trigger. This one is very, very predictable. Okay, now for the rest of the stock. It's fairly well shaped right in here as far as getting a grip on the trigger, but the cheek rest is way too low. It should be a raised cheek piece. It really kind of inadequate, and it's got a very stiff rubber butt pad. I'd like to see them soften that up a little bit. It does come with a sling mount in the front and a post in the back to attach a sling mount. So you can get a sling on it and carry it through the woods that way. Now let's take a look at a couple of things on the box here. It says it's got tail guides to reduce friction, which would be right here on the back of the piston. Little guides to keep the piston from slopping back and forth, and it's also got a recoil arrest right here on the piston, supposedly eliminating secondary recoil. It's got the adjustable clean break 2-stage trigger that we just viewed. It says airgun assembled in the USA. It does not say made in the USA. I interpret that as foreign parts assembled in America. They claim 950 feet per second with lead pellets and 1100 feet with alloy pellets. They claim that this one, regular NP, you can kill a raccoon to 20 yards. They claim this one 40 yards. I would not try that with this one. 22 caliber, 26 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. It's got the weight there and the overall length. Rifle doesn't even come close to 26 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. Okay, I suppose we'll go over the power readings next. They claim 1100 feet per second with alloy pellets. They claim 1100 feet per second shooting premium alloy pellets. The best pellet I know of for alloy is the RWS Hypermax 9.9 grain. They claim 1100 feet per second up to, we got an up to 999 to 9.2. It's over 100 feet shy. Average was 993.3, but that pellet did generate the most muzzle energy of any of the pellets, even the lead pellets. We had that high reading was 21.95 foot-pounds muzzle energy, and the average muzzle energy with that pellet was 21.69 foot-pounds. Now shooting the RWS Hobby lead pellet, 11.9 grain, Crosman claims 950 feet per second. We actually got an up to 866.7 feet per second, so over 83 feet per second slower, with an average of 864.3 feet per second. That was the most consistent pellet of all the pellets tried. An extreme spread of 4.2 feet per second, a standard deviation of 1.41, generating just under 20 foot-pounds muzzle energy, between 19.85 and 19.74. The Crosman Premier Dome pellet had a really high extreme spread of 33.34 feet per second. The average was 780.6 feet per second, and that was actually one of our more accurate pellets. That one averaged about 19.5 foot-pounds muzzle energy. The Benjamin Discovery, which is Crosman's premium 14.3 grain hollow point, that had an average of 799.7 feet per second. Standard deviation was 10.04. That one averaged about 20.5 foot-pounds muzzle energy. Probably the most accurate pellet was H&N Field Target, 16.36 grain. That one averaged 727.6 feet per second and averaged 19.5 foot-pounds muzzle energy. And the Cro-Magnum was also right in there with one of the most accurate pellets. That's an 18.21 grain, averaged 700.7 feet per second. Extreme spread 11.75, standard deviation 5.09. That one averaged 20 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. And actually the rifle did shoot the H&M Barracuda Hunter Extreme 19.09 fairly well. I did not use it in the accuracy test, but it did shoot fairly well. It had an average of 698.3 feet per second, about 11 foot per second extreme spread, 4.24 standard deviation, and that one was between 20.5 and 21 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. So a fairly accurate pellet with some decent muzzle energy. But as you can see, this rifle fell anywhere from 4 to 5 foot-pounds of muzzle energy shy of the factory claims. Okay, I'm going to put up the power numbers here so you can take a look at that. Now I've watched Paul Capella's Airgun Reporter review of the NP2 and Rick Utzler on Airgun Web, his review of the NP2, and this fell right in between their crony readings. Paul Capella got just a few feet per second more with the Crosman Premiers than I did, and Rick Utzler got a slower speed with that same pellet. So this one was kind of right in between, and neither one of them admonished Crosman for laying out their behinds on the feet per second and the muzzle energy. I don't know why they do that. This gun isn't even close. If somebody bought this rifle because of the claims on the box, they'd be a little bit upset. Overall, does that affect the quality of the rifle? The rifle is well built. It's very stealth. I did get a high decibel reading of 93.9 shooting the alloy pellets. The highest reading with the lead pellets was 90.6 decibels shooting the hobbies. And the heavier the pellet, the quieter it got. The H&N Cro-Magnums actually only had an 85.9 decibel reading. So that is very backyard friendly, very quiet. One of the quietest rifles that I've seen yet. And they claim 10-pound reduction in cocking effort, and that's pretty accurate. This one came in at 28.5 foot-pounds of cocking effort. So they're spot on their claims there. It's a pleasure to have a rifle you can cock so easily and shoot it all day. But you're not going to kill a raccoon at 40 yards with this one. It does have the accuracy. So we're going to shoot 4 different pellets, 2 Crosman pellets and 2 H&N pellets. So we'll take a look at that and then we'll wrap this up. Okay, first up is the Crosman Premier Dome 14.3 grain pellet. This pellet I had a hard time getting into the breech, so hopefully it won't fly off target. Next up is the Benjamin Discovery 14.3 grain, which is basically a deluxe Crosman hollow point. I actually did not do a very good job on that pellet, but still seems to be pretty accurate. And next up is a H&N Field Target 16.36 grain. And next up is a H&N Cro-Magnum 18.21 grain. That was my fault. So I'm going to put one more through there just so you can see a good 5-shot group. There we go. First we have the Crosman Premier Domed. As you can see, that's a lot smaller than a dime. And then the Benjamin Discovery, I did not do a very good job myself, just a little bit larger than a dime. And then the H&N Field Target group, smaller than a dime. And the H&N Cro-Magnum is about the size of a dime center to center. So as you can see, the rifle can be pretty accurate, especially if you got a good shooter. I guess the big question is the rifle worth the money? The average price for this rifle or on the web is $179.99, and for the power you're getting, you know, which is about 21 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, that's pound, 2 pounds lighter than the uh, Benjamin NPS, which is a Chinese made with the regular nitro piston, but does have a little bit more power than that. It's a step up. It's nowhere near the power of the Trail NPXL, but it's got decent power. It's better than the average Magnum Springer. It's just not an Ultra Magnum. It's just at the high end of the Magnum Springers. And for $179.99, it's very stealth, very quiet. It's got a very usable trigger. It's stiff, but it's very usable and good for accuracy. You get the weaver mount, a scope that you can actually see the reticle and sight objective, and they need to improve this back here. But overall, for the power, the accuracy, everything you're getting with it, yeah, it is worth the money. It's just not what they promised. So I would say, you do have other options out there in this power class and price class, maybe even some with a slightly better scope. So you have to weigh all your options, but all in all, for the $179.99, the rifle is worth the money. But it's not a great deal, not a rifle that's going to change the world. If you're tired of wearing your arms out cocking their rifle, this might be the ticket, because it does cock easy. Like I said, 28.5 pounds is what I measured the cocking of. So that is my review of the Benjamin Summit NP2 22 caliber. Thank you for watching, and have fun shooting.